of this draft. And remember that this is the Pelicans, who already had, you saw Jackson Hayes and Zion. They had Nickeil Alexander Walker, the cousin of Shea. And I think, Smitty, I'll start with you. I think you could argue that when you get past those known commodities, this guy has a chance to be the most impactful NBA player in that 10 through 30 part of this first round.
You know, he has great feel, he has great confidence, and he can get where he wants off the bounce. He has good size. He started to shoot the basketball better. He played the point. He played off. He played the small forward. He is so smooth. He is one of those guys that can come in and play right away because of his skill set and his size.
Smitty, I'm glad that you said that he was smooth, because that's the perfect way to describe him. When you see him playing on the court, sometimes you'll look up, you're watching the game, you're like, oh, this kid's having a pretty good game. You look at the stat sheet, he has 18, 19, 20 points. You didn't realize that he got it because it comes to him so easy. Very versatile, can play on and off the ball. Versatility has almost been the theme for this draft. A lot of young, versatile guys going, and it's also a theme in the league right now, and he's a very versatile guard. I love the fact that he can play with the ball or without the ball in his hands.
So and how come he had to deal with adversity in this, that when Justin Robinson went down from Virginia Tech, the sense was, okay, they're going sideways. They're not going to maybe even make the NCAA tournament. He basically rescued this team by playing the point so he can play the one or the two. So he goes to the NBA proving that he can play both positions.
Yeah.
How competitive is he? Because there's going to be a slew of competition on the perimeter in New Orleans. If you think about what they bring from the Lakers, what they're drafting, this is what you want with young players, is a lot of competition for spots.
But I like that, because when you're a young team and you don't know what direction you're heading in, what you want to do is put everybody out there, let them fight for their minutes, and see who comes out on top, and then you determine who's going to be a part of our team for the future and who's not. And you get to see who wants it right away to start the training camp.
Let me ask you a question. You kind of poll the panel. Does anybody here really think Lonzo Ball is staying on the Pelicans?
His dad thinks so. He said that was the plan all along the other day.
To me,
why do you think he's leaving?
Well, I would start with, I don't have any knowledge of it directly, but we spent a lot of time with Griff, who is, to me, a brilliant, and that's not overstating it, individual in terms of understanding direction and culture.
Well, that might be
and
a
I
little.
don't think that this is the way you go when you're trying to put Zion at the forefront. You think about Josh Hart, the kind of kid he is coming out of Villanova. You think about adding a Nickeil Walker with Buzz Williams. You think about it. To me, I don't see it.
I will say,
I do, B-Wood, because, you know, we forget Lonzo Ball is a fantastic passer. He's a great defender. Here's a kid, yes, he played with the Lakers. It didn't go well, but that was because of injury. Now is a lot of pressure taken off of him. He's a young player. I like Lonzo Ball, especially with a guy like Zion, who's a high flyer, rim lob guy, and Lonzo's one of the best. What B. Wood said, they have versatility. Also, they have young guys. They can fight it out, and one might end up playing the one. One can end up coming off the bench. One can play the two, the three with Drew Holiday. They have a lot of mixing guys that can play different positions and some competition.
And in his defense, when he was at UCLA, there was no problem with Lonzo Ball. His father, another matter, but it wasn't Lonzo Ball.
No one has ever said there's a problem with Lonzo Ball.
But hinting that, will he fit overall?
Well, because he doesn't. Well, first of all, he never comes by himself. Number one, although that
but
may
I'm saying
be
Lonzo Ball, the person, the player, that's not the
I think it's important that
but
we
it's never been a question.
I think it's important that we do get that out there. Lonzo Ball has never been a problem anywhere.
That's what I wanted to say.
He is a great kid, and sometimes what his father says gets projected on him, and that is not him. Lonzo is his own man. Unfortunately, he gets lumped in with some of the comments from his dad, LeVar. But when we talk about fit, Lonzo is a great passer. Guess what Zion is? A great finisher. I love the fit. Get out and transition. Get out on that track and just run, throw lobs, get everybody at the Smoothie King Center. Very, very excited.
Way to remember the name. You're looking for a sponsorship?
I really am. I go there a lot. Get everybody at the Smoothie King Center. Not just excited about the smoothies. Get them excited about the fantastic basketball they're going to be
we
playing.
don't all agree with his dad, with LeVar Ball.
Of course.
But he was a great father to those kids.
Very good father.
A very good father. And I want to make sure we get that out there as well.
Yeah.
Tom, Drew Holiday is the guy I know that they love and think could be a veteran presence. It comes with almost $30 million. Is that a guy that you would be trying to move if you were in Griff's spot, or look at to be a leader on this team with these kids this year?
I think it depends on what Drew says and whether he's willing to play the role they're going to want him to play, where he's the wily veteran back there, versatile, as you talked about, Brendan, the way he can mix and match. You know, going back to Lonzo Ball, we always had a list, an ongoing list of what we called fallen angels, where for whatever the circumstance, the player has a lot of talent, but isn't perceived as achieving. D'Angelo Russell is a perfect example. When he got out and got fresh oxygen in this building, all of a sudden now he's a major free agent on the market and was an all-star. So you could see that in Ingram, you could see that in Lonzo, because those guys are top-tier talent. Wasn't that long ago. They're taking number 2 for a reason.
Pelicans make a deal to go down from 4 and end up getting a guy in Hayes that seems to fit them, and now add a ton of talent in Nickeil Alexander Walker. But the talent continues on. Indiana, remember, reportedly already has added TJ Warren, simply just in a cash deal, which we were trying to figure out with Todd how that works if it's a briefcase transition. But now it's Goga who moves himself
Goga Bitadze, another player that sort of came on the scene of late. 6'11", Georgian, 7'2" wingspan. He's a player that once he got invited here, the buzz was he was going somewhere from 12 to 22. And look, he's got a lot of upside. We love that term, international player, Tom. But, you know, he's someone that I think could definitely be a drafted stash. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
Well, they got Miles Turner, who was, when they took Miles Turner, they developed him quickly into a major NBA talent. I'll defer to Brendan, who's about a foot taller than me and has a few more years experience. When you assess or look at big men like this, what are you looking at?
I look at their feet, how they move, and what they're able to give you as far as their intensity level. When I'm looking at a player, I like to see, what do I think he does well? Is he a guy that scores it? Is he a stretch big? Is he a rebounder, shot blocker? But what I like to identify what my guy does well, try to highlight that, and then work on his weaknesses. And so when I saw those clips, and that's the only thing I've really seen from him, I saw a guy that had some very good footwork. I saw that he moves very, very well. So I like the quick spin move on the baseline, the floater. He showed some touch. So he looks like he has some tools, and only time will tell how good he can be.
And they talk about that he's a good rebounder. You like that from his 6'11" guy. He turned pro at 16. So he's been playing basketball for a high level at 16. You know, obviously he might be some guy that you wait to see develop later. But at 6'11", 250, I'll take that size.
We look at smart franchises. Last year, maybe one of the better players in the draft, and a kid, Lonnie Walker, who was hurt. So you haven't learned that, some of you, yet. The Spurs add him to who? Derek White, what, Murray, Bird, how many guys? Who will be the next? The Spurs are on the clock. But it's been a night of the brotherhood. Zion Williamson at number 1.